Okay, here we are again. We just got rid of the trailer, and this chain I just took off there and laid on the ground. It's a double, and I put a tape measure down here to explain why we want this. There's a quick link right here. There's equal chain on each side of this quick link right here. And what we're going to do, we're going to hang this back up just like it came off. And when we put these chains on, all these hooks are going to be hanging from the top of the tire here on both axles. And we're going to back on these chains. The reason is, a lot of times when you stop, you can't pull ahead anymore in the real world without putting chains on. So forget about, if you get used to backing on your chains all the time, then what if you get spun out on a hill? Or you have a rock slide, a snow slide, a wreck, or whatever, you got to stop on that hill. You ain't going to be able to pull ahead to put your chains on, so you might as well get used to backing on them. And that's what this is about, where everything works every time. And if you want those hooks in the front of your tires, the hooks are here. They go in front of the rack when you put them back on the rack. If you want the hooks to hang from the back side of your tires, then you have to turn them around to where when you put the chain on the rack, the hooks will be on this side of the rack. So here we go. We're going to pick this right up by this quick link right there. 2 links to go in the middle of this rail right here. Then just trace this on down here. Pick this end up. You put two in the middle, 3 hanging. Same thing with this side. You put 2 in the middle and 3's left hanging. They go on the rack the same every time. They go on the tires the same every time. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to get back in the truck, so you know there's nothing staged here. This is the way the truck goes down the highway. So when I stop, I got to get out of the truck to do this and put some gloves on. And normally, wintertime, I don't wear leather gloves to do this. But every time I get out of the truck, I've got a warm pair of gloves on. So first thing you do, if you know where you're going to stop, turn all your heat on the floor and put them gloves down there under the heater so you got warm gloves all the time to work with. That's why we say you don't have to get your hands and feet cold to do this. So we're going to get out of the truck, so we're not going to try to shorten up anything. This is the way it really happens. Okay. It's going to take a little longer to do this because we're going to have to start the engine every time we need to move, so it's not going to go quite. But you can actually take these off of this rack with one hand. That's how easy it is. But when you get it with this one, the middle of that chain goes right here, right on top. Just like that. Let's see. this. There. Okay. Okay, buddy. Oh. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get back in there and we're going to pull up one turn, then we're going to back up one turn. The reason we're going to pull up, a lot of times if you're at a change station, if you back up you might run into somebody. And if we're out there by ourselves, we just back up one turn and forget about it, but we're going to pull ahead. The reason we backed up, so these chains are back in front again, because you always want to remember whichever direction of travel you're going, the slack is always behind the direction of travel. So if we pulled up, you'd see a lot of slack back here, but you don't, because we backed up on these chains. These chains are tight back here. But so your slack's going to be up in the front of your chain. Now we'll take the slack out of them. That's good. We can probably get these a little tighter, but anyway, these hooks right here are what we call a binder hook. We use them on the inside and the outside for good reason. If you've got a truck body, or maybe your trailer fits really close to the top of your tires, if you can reach one hand back in here on one of these hooks, you can unhook it with 2 fingers. It's unhooked. You don't have to get both arms back in there, because a lot of times you don't have room to get both arms back in there. That's why we use these on both sides. But I'm going to hook this back up where it was. And just pull them off, and I'll show you how they come off. I'll give you a better shot of this hook on the outside. This, all you gotta do is do that and that hook will come off of there. Now to hang these back up, you don't want any help dragging your chains out of the way. You want to be able to pick these up yourself, because you probably just mess you up if you have help. Pick this metal rail up right where the tire was sitting on it. Turn it halfway around. Locate this center of the rail where this there it is right there, the middle of it right here. Put that right back on here. Trace this on down here. 2 in the middle and 3 hanging. And then same thing with this one. Pick it up by the center rail. Turn it halfway around. That way the hooks will be back in front, just like we put them on a while ago. There they are. And I know there's a lot of people think, well, I never use anything but singles. Well, singles work sometimes. But if you find you get on a hill spun out, or like I say, you have to stop on a hill, maybe 6 or 7% grade, you'll find out probably with them singles you won't be able to take off, untrack. With these doubles you can take off, probably with one axle chained up. Because the reason being, even with doubles, if you slip a little bit taking off, you'll probably slip a little bit with a set of doubles on. But if this outside tire slips, you've dug a hole underneath that tire where the chain is. And this inside tire has no traction. So you're going to be stuck. If you find that condition, if all you got is 4 singles, jerk one of these singles off and put it on the other axle where you got one axle chained up and you can untrack. Because even though that outside tire, whichever, might slip a little bit, you've still got a chain on the other tire that's got traction. And you can take off. You want to use the lowest gear you got? Idle and just barely turn them to get going. But that's why these doubles, they work every time. Well, now I was going to go over a couple things with these chains. I know that a lot of those new chains have a quick hook on them. They don't have we call these a binder hook. And these particular kind, you can actually unhook that with one hand. And the inside one, you can do the same thing. You can unhook that with one hand. It's done. And this inside hook, that's called a quick hook. I guess they call it a quick hook because all you need is pliers to close one end of it, and you got a hook on there. But a lot of chains come with these on the inside and the middle rail. But what's wrong with that? What if you wanted to use these chains on that side? If you got these kind of hooks on both inside and outside rail, this chain is interchangeable with either side. So that way you can keep your hooks where you want them. If you put that chain over there, you could have the hooks turned around backwards or front. It wouldn't make no difference. But we're going to go ahead and hook these up, or put them back on the rack. And I wanted to say, if you stop on top someplace, say, and you just walk around the truck, want to know if your chains are tight. If you pulled up there and stopped, all your chain is going to be behind these tires. The slack is never in front of your direction of travel. It's always behind. So if you've got a loose chain, you'll be able to see it back here. But if you backed up before you stopped, then you want to look for the slack in front of your tires. But now to hang these back up, we still want those hooks when we put them back on to be in front of the tires. So don't let anybody help you do this until they know how to do it. Pick this chain up by the middle rail, turn it halfway around. That puts the hooks back on this side of your chain again. And right here's where it goes back on the rack. Put these two cross chains right there, and then just follow this middle rail up. Put 2 in the middle and 3 hanging. Same thing here. You have 2 in the middle and 3 hanging. Pick it up, turn it halfway around, then put this 2 in the middle. And 3 hanging. What a person can do really too is you can actually, a new set of chains you can paint where these go, where you don't, it just makes it quicker going on there, so you don't have to, sometimes you, but there they are. They should hang whatever size chain you have, or tires or whatever. You may have to adjust that middle to where they go on here, and you may have to put an extra one here in the middle, or maybe hang an extra one off the end or something. But you get them on there, they should hang the same at the bottom if they're on there right. Now you notice we didn't use any bungee cords or cam tensioners because they're not necessary. If you put those chains on tight to start with, they won't be as tight as you can get them with a cam tensioner, but they'll be tight enough. Because you always tell if you got slack by the direction of travel. Always look and see if you maybe need to take up an extra link. That happens sometimes. But just remember, anything you put on, when you put them on, when you get to pull them off, you got to take all that stuff off. And actually, if you get used to doing it, it's not just me, anybody can do this. If you get used to doing it this way, there's no reason why, if everything goes good, you could be chained up and rolling again in about 12 minutes. And you have them all hanging up on the other side of the pass in 8 minutes, if everything goes like they're supposed to. But you get used to doing it this way, it's quick and easy.